Welcome back to part 5 of the Neon Genesis Book Club. I've been saying that things were going to get crazy, and finally we have a very exciting episode. I hope y'all thoroughly enjoyed this, and without further ado, let's get into it. So we start out with Akari, and we see him, he's kind of just looking, and it turns out that they're doing an Ava test on Unit 0, which is Ray's Ava, and things don't go as well as, they probably thought. It seems that all the synchronability is off, and the Ava kind of just starts acting out on its own. And when I say acting out on its own, I mean, hopefully y'all saw as well, but this thing went bonkers. I mean, they try to unplug it, so obviously the battery life is going to run out fairly quickly. But it just straight punches this glass right in front of Akari. And Akari's a dog because this dude did not flinch. I mean, this dude stood there and watched this Ava take like 3 punches to the glass. And at this point, they basically are like, all right, eject Ray, like, get her out of there. And this is extremely important for the upcoming parts of the episode and the series as well. The look on Akari's face when basically we see that he's worried about Ray. We see this dude rush down. The Ava's being filled with fluids, I guess, cool it down and stabilize. And Akari just basically rushes down there. And we see that this thing is really hot, this handle to eject the pilot or to open the ejection port. And he opens it, and this is crazy because, as far as we've seen, Akari is like soulless. This dude cares about no one except the work, and the work needs to be done. But for the first time, we're seeing him act out and a little bit of concern for Ray. And I guess not even a little bit. This dude is like checking on her, asking if she's okay. And this seems to really make Ray happy. We then get to follow up with a little bit of, I would say, not necessarily episode filler, but they're all kind of catching up with Shinji, and that's pretty much that. We get back to this, and now this is incredible. So basically he zooms in and we see Ray. She's talking to somebody, and we see she's very happy. And it turns out that it's Akari, Shinji's dad. And Shinji's like, what's going on? And we get a flashback. And Akari's smiling, talking to Ray. And now Shinji is extremely locked in. Like, what am I seeing? Like, this is ridiculous. And the conversation continues. Ray and Akari are obviously having a great conversation. And we get another shot. And Shinji is just like looking at it as if his girlfriend's cheating on him. I mean, this dude he can't believe his eyes. His own father won't even look at him like this. He's probably never seen him look like this before. And just like that, he's basically just talking, just giving Ray all the love. And you have to think, for Shinji, I mean, he's pretty much doing this for his father almost. You could say that maybe he's doing it as a way to prove to himself, but I really think that everything that he's done so far is to make his father proud or get his father's acceptance, and that's extremely important to him. So following up, we basically get a dinner with Risku, Shinji, and Misato. And they're basically just, cracking jokes and stuff. And they tell Shinji that he needs to take this card to Rei Ayanami. And if you've seen this before, you know how this goes. But for those who don't, or hopefully at this point, I guess I don't need to be secretive because if you're here, hopefully you watch the episode. Things go very interesting. Basically, my dude, he walks in. It's quiet. He doesn't see anybody. And he kind of just lets himself in, which is kind of weird. Rei Ayanami's place is kind of filthy. She obviously got blood cloths everywhere, and he's kind of just looking around. And as he's playing with his father's glasses, he sees Rei Ayanami. She's clearly fresh out of the shower, and she's kind of like, she's not like, what are you doing here? But she's just staring at him. And this obviously makes Shinji very awkward, as he's not the kind of guy to be good in these situations. I guess he shouldn't be in there at all. I guess there's no kind of guy good in this situation because he should have not have been in that house, let alone in this situation. However, he goes ahead, he stumbles, he does Shinji thing, and he ends up landing on her. And he's just staring at her. She's staring back at him. And this has got to be probably one of the awkwardest moments in the show. Or it gets worse, but you'll see later on. And let's be real, this might be the closest thing Shinji has gotten to a woman. And so this dude's kind of just like completely screwed up. However, Rei is very passive in the situation and basically just says, get up. She takes her glasses, which are Akari's glasses, and walks out. and Shinji wasn't even able to give her the card. So basically, you know, this dude went there for one thing, sneaks into her house and kind of violates her on accident. You know, he wasn't meaning to, but things are a little awkward. However, he does eventually catch back up to her on the way to headquarters, and he gives her the card. And once he gives her the card, they basically just kind of talk and take a trip down to headquarters, and Shinji's like kind of asking her about the father connection or whatever. And he makes her mad, and she basically lashes out at him. And so this is kind of the first time we see Rei Ayanami have any feelings whatsoever. And just like that, everyone's suited up. Another angel is on the way after a successful test with Rei Ayanami's Ava. And so basically they're asking Kari, do you want to send her out? And he says no, which is very interesting because he's not very protective. I mean, I don't understand the switch up because he was willing to send her out before, but not now. So basically he sends Shinji and we get to see the new angel, and it doesn't go good at all. Shinji at this point seems extremely professional. He's like calling the bolt locks, you know, like a pilot should do. And Rei's just like looking at this dude like, why am I not going out there? I'm sure that her almost getting injured really hit Akari, and so that's why he's being passive with her and a little bit nicer. So we send Shinji out there, and as soon as he gets out, he gets blasted right in the chest. And I mean, remember, they can feel that, like, they're one with their unit. And so basically he feels like he just got shot in the chest. And as we end this episode, he's basically just screaming inside of his Ava. And so, you know, where do we go from here? Rewatching this, I thoroughly enjoyed this episode just because it really feels like they, you know, added a little bit of comedy and a little bit of emotion. Finally, everybody's not so dull, and that's something that I really enjoyed about it. Let me know down in the comments below if you're rewatching this, you know, for the first or second time, or you're a new viewer. Let me know what you thought about this episode. It was a little bit exciting, a little bit dramatic, but overall pretty fun. Make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll be back next Wednesday for part 6 of the Neon Genesis Book Club. I appreciate it, and have a great day.